I think when you were trying to put out, or no, you did put out Super Cool Nothing, and you know, you had problems with your label, and you were trying to shop it around to other labels and having all that trouble. You know, you went from that to now it seems you're very DIY.
Yeah.
When did that change come about? When did you decide you don't need the label to do everything for you, that you can handle shit on your own?
Well, it's a process, really. Like, when I walked away from it after that whole debacle. I mean, I was just like, I didn't want anything to do with it anymore. I was just like, it was so frustrating and so just defeating and heartbreaking and whatever expletive you want to put on it. It's just, I just couldn't face it anymore. There was so much darkness in it for me that I found nothing about it that I enjoyed anymore. So I was just like, I'm done. And so for me to just close it off and just shut it down was like, I had to do that. And then, you know, over the course of time, I started to like remember those little things that like made me want to do it. And I think like we needed to do that in the long run anyways, because we were really off track with what we were trying to do at that point. Being in LA, it's like we sort of admittedly shifted our focus from like the fans and music to like career.
Yeah.
You know, we have to. It wasn't like we sat at Super Cool. Super Cool Nothing is pure in that way, but it's post Super Cool Nothing where we shifted our focus, because then we had our record, it was done, and so the artistic part of it was finished. Then it turned into like, we need someone to pick this up, and it turned into very career-driven stuff, which was like, you know, it's a dirty, ugly game there. And so to get away from that and just to get back to what it was that made us want to do that in the first place, just the music part of it, which again made it very it brought me back to having it be a very private thing, where it was just me. I had no, you know, Six Mil was dead to me. There was no anything. It was just, you know, it's just slowly. It was like, maybe I'll mess around with some stuff. Maybe I'll do like an electronic record or something. I don't know, just something different. And I got my stuff back out of storage and started tinkering around, and then you know, I started like putting together things kind of like the same way I used to. I'd start to just, you know, like burrow down into that place, and it just started happening. And then all of a sudden I had songs, and then out of the blue I got a call from or an email or something from Dave Heckman. He's like, "What are you guys doing? What are you up to? You know, do you want to put out another record, or what are you doing?" And I was just like, well, I mean, what's the hurt? What's the harm? I've already got this stuff done. What's the worst I'm gonna do? Make money, you know? So we did it, and then all of a sudden it was like, maybe we can play again, you know? So it's just the whole steamroller started going down, and it just sort of, you know, here we are again, you know? The thing that's totally different now is after coming through that experience, especially after, you know, the whole Mercury Polygram thing plus the whole Capitol thing, which was really the darkest part of all that, was like to come back out of all that stuff and to learn our lessons with that, to where like, yeah, we are very DIY now. Like if I had a major label deal sitting in front of me right now, I'd say no, absolutely no way. I'm not interested. I'm not interested at all. I have no interest in being a huge band. I have no interest in, you know, doing fly dates on tours. I have no interest in that. I would rather play for 100 fans a night than 1,000 fans a night that like don't really know much about us, or just there because
like
it's
a
cool.
single.
Yeah, I mean, and I genuinely mean that.
Yeah.
Like I really don't have any desire to do that. I have other stuff I do, you know, that pays my bills. I mean, if I could write my life story, and it would be nice to like do soundtracks or something like that for a living, but as far as being in a rock band and touring and all that stuff, like I'm fine with where we're at. I'd like to see the scene grow a little bit. It'd be nice to just level up just a little bit to where we're playing maybe a little bit bigger clubs and things like that. But I really have no, you know, anything above a House of Blues level show, no desire. I mean, we did a show in Oklahoma one time. It was 35,000 people, and where the stage was so far away from like fans that like there was just no connection, and I couldn't draw anything from it. It just was so weird and so just like, that's not fun to me. Fun is when I'm like right in front of somebody, you know, and like they're right there and I can feel their intensity, and that's what all this is for. It's that moment that happens, And you don't get that if you're a huge band. I don't believe you do. Maybe Metallica gets it when they're like, have that 300-person pit thing, whatever they have.
Yeah.
You know, James runs by and, you know, everyone. I mean, maybe they do there, but for me personally, not ever experiencing on that level. Yeah. My only experience of a large crowd like that was at Edge Fest. Yeah. I'd rather do small shows for sure. So, yeah, we're way more DIY now. Martin Atkins told me once, actually, the bigger your band gets, the bigger your nightmares get. And I didn't believe him when he said it. But it's true, you know? Like when we in 98, that was probably like our peak, you know, like 96. We went on the road for 9 months straight, so, and it's proven when you tour, you get bigger. It just happens, so. We're touring. And that was probably the peak of our success, I think, in 96, 98. And, you know, that was just the beginning of like when our nightmares really started getting bigger and bigger. And, you know, even with vehicles, the bigger vehicle you're driving, the bigger the nightmares are. Yeah. So if you're driving a van, you get a flat tire, it's a fucking nightmare. You get a flat tire in a bus, it's a much bigger nightmare. You know, so everything is just magnified.